How's everybody doing today? It's AJ Let's Talk Sports. We have today a very special guest, Ed Cole from Insight Sports Talk. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you? Thanks
Hey,
for
good.
having me on your program.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ed.
So, like you said, my name is Ed Cole, and I'm one of the co-hosts on Insight Sports Talk. It's a sports podcast where we do based here in Arizona. We're in the Phoenix metro area, and there's three of us that do this podcast, and we do a podcast every Monday night. We tape it, and it airs every Tuesday on a local sports network here in Arizona called KSRN, and we also put it up on Spotify and all these different other platforms. So everybody like you, all like your listeners, could hear us worldwide. Isn't this technology crazy? How
I
we
know
can
it's
just do
awesome.
this. We're doing it virtually. You're in Wisconsin, I'm in Arizona, but it's like we're in the same room together. But that's how we
Right,
do, like you. That's how we do our podcast, and we get it out to the masses, just like your program does.
right, cool. It's also like too when you watch these sporting events now is they're not even there anymore. The announcers aren't even at the games. They're just sitting
Right,
at home
right.
announcing it from the TV.
Yeah, it's like the other day I was watching a TNT broadcast, and Kevin Harlan's at his house and Reggie Miller's at his house doing the broadcast. So is this going to be the wave of the future where they don't have to have the broadcasters at these different sites? They can save so much money by having the broadcasters do it at home.
I know. Or maybe they would give them an option if they want to go and then or stay
Right.
with your family, or you want to go out and travel a little bit with the teams, or
Yeah.
give them an
Same
option at
thing.
least.
Same thing with Tony Romo a couple weeks ago. The for the Saints playoff game against the Bears, he was back in Dallas because of the COVID protocol. So he was in Dallas at his house, and Jim Nance was in New Orleans, and they did the broadcast like they were in the same booth. It's
Right, that's
crazy.
crazy. That is awesome. I love it. That's how they
Man,
did on
this,
NBA too the other day. Like Chris Webber, whatever, was at his house or something, and then there's another guy in the ESPN studios. No one is
yeah,
even at the games.
isn't that amazing?
It's awesome. I love it. I can't tell if you love it or hate it, but I don't know, because it's a little bit because if they're not at the games, they can't get the feel for it like they were whenever there's a foul or all that
Right.
stuff. I noticed that too, where it takes them a while. The foul's already been called, everything's been already talked about at the game, but then the announcers don't even know what happened.
I know.
Like
Yeah,
that foul couple times.
there's always like an inherent delay, like a couple seconds. Like sometimes Kevin Harlan will call something like 2 seconds after it happens, and I noticed that on the broadcast. But that's the way it is, Adam. This is the way we have to do this broadcasting thing, at least until we can hopefully get back to normal, and these broadcasters can actually go to the arena and, like you said, can have that interaction with the coaches and the players and actually be there. It has to be weird for them to sit and they're confined, their comfy space at home and do a broadcast as opposed to traveling and being at the arena. It's got to be a different feeling.
Right. It's got to be really weird,
Yeah,
especially at first. But when you
but
probably get used to it, we adapt pretty quickly.
they're professionals. They adapt and they make it happen. It's their job and that's their livelihood. So they're like, okay, well, if we have to be at home and do this thing, that's the great thing about modern technology. Like you and I, we've got microphones, and pretty much anybody that wants to broadcast can do it.
Right. That's true. You don't even need a laptop or don't need anything. You just do it right off your phone. That's what I'm doing. Basically, a phone
Yep.
is just a miniature laptop anyway.
Yep.
So,
Well, until you get your MacBook Pro, right?
right. Um, but yeah, so yeah, tell me about your editing and all that. I know you said you've done some editing and all that stuff
Yeah.
too, video,
Yes.
audio.
Yes. Yes. For our podcast, we do video. We're going to start doing our podcast like we're doing right now on StreamYard. So we're going to do that. But usually we would do it on Zoom, and I would edit the audio that would go on KSRN and on Spotify. I would edit two different versions of audio of the podcast, of the broadcast, and I get different types of music for each podcast because I don't want the same music for each version of the podcast, right? I want a different sound to the two broadcasts that we do because there's two different listeners, there's two different types of people that are listening, two different two different types of listeners, and also for the video as well. I'm pretty well versed at using Premiere Pro, so that's the program that I use to edit the video. And we put different clips up on Instagram and on Inside Sports Talk on the LinkedIn page for everybody that's on go to the Inside Sports Talk. Look us up on LinkedIn or Inside Sports Talk, and look me up at Edward Cole. But just editing audio and video, and that's the wave. That's the way we do things now, Adam. Editing audio and video. That's a really good art and a skill to learn, especially in these days and times where everything is virtual. Right. You have to be a one-man band nowadays.
Yeah, especially that. Seems like everybody's downsizing too with these corporations as well. I know ESPN had a lot of layoffs, like 1,000 people or some 500 people, and then all these radio stations too. Like, because I'm searching, on All Access. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like a radio kind of job posting site. So I go on there, and then all these jobs that they're hiring for is multiple positions for one. So they have like a account executive and an on-air talent, like per se. So yeah, everybody's downsizing, getting rid of people, and then they're like, you have to pretty much be a multi-talented, multitasking type person anymore to even get in the door. So
yeah, it's crazy how times have changed. But the more you know and can do, that's the less expendable you are.
Right. But
because your boss is going to look at you and say, wow, so Adam knows how, he's an on-air talent. Okay, so he knows how to edit audio. He can do video. He can do this. He can do that. Why would I fire him? Why would I let him go?
Right. Or they can just say, oh, we'll just bring some young kid right out of high school or college
and pay him less money
on the minimum, and then get rid of you. That's pretty much what they're doing too. Same thing happened. I don't want to bring it up, kind of personal, but same thing happened to my mom. She's been in the insurance business for 30 years, and they have a new management, and they got rid of her because she's old school, about the customer and all that stuff. And I guess the new age way of thinking is all about numbers. How many can you sell? You need to sell so many times a day, and make phone calls so many times a day, and only talk to them about 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Once you go past that 5-minute mark, it's like in the red. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get off the call. So it's kind of messed up on that side.
That is. It's unfortunate, but I'm sure she'll bounce back if she hasn't already bounced back, and she'll be better than ever. Whatever new position, whatever position she has now or will have, will be better than that.
Oh yeah, she's doing really well. She's getting like a severance package and all that stuff. So she's just looking to something for fun now for her last 10 years until she retires. So that's good. I'm excited for her.
Good.
But yeah, she's down in Ohio too. But yeah, let's see. What do you want? Do you want to get into the sports thing now, or do you want to keep talking about yourself?
Yeah, let's talk about sports.
Okay,
I'm not a talker about me. I want to talk sports.
Right. All right, let's get into it. I guess we'll start with the NBA. You're more of a big NBA guy than I am. I kind of watched the college basketball a little bit. Like, obviously, I'm a big Ohio State guy, and they just won today. Woohoo! Against Michigan State. But NBA,
yeah, it's unfortunate you couldn't bring in that national championship. But Alabama, they're unbelievable.
They're on another level. Level. And Ohio State's good. Like, Ohio State was really, really good.
Yeah. Yes.
And we look like a little high school team to Alabama.
No matter what they said, Adam, about, oh, well, Ohio State didn't play a lot of games. They shouldn't have played in the Big Ten championship. Why is Ohio State playing in the Big Ten? Because you guys were good. You were the best team in the Big Ten, and you were in the national championship for a reason. That's an excellent football team that Ryan Day has there. But they just ran up against a juggernaut. Alabama is, like you said, on another level. They're as close as you can get to an NFL team that's in college football. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. They have a lot of depth anywhere you go. There's 5-star recruits everywhere. One person gets hurt and another person comes in. They're just as good as, if not better than them.
Yeah, it's like their third and fourth stringers. Those guys are NFL material too. That's how deep and good they really are. It's unbelievable what Nick Saban has done down there.
Right. It's just crazy. He's definitely a Hall of Fame coach as well. What do you think about Urban Meyer going to Jacksonville though?
I like it.
Really?
I like it. I mean, I think it's a good fresh start for Jacksonville. They desperately need a new start, whether it's, I'm pretty sure they'll take Trevor Lawrence with the first pick unless there's so much talk about, could they make a play for Deshaun Watson? Would Houston be willing to make a deal with them? But I don't think Houston would trade Deshaun Watson within the division. So I really don't think he'll go to Jacksonville or Indianapolis, even though they both need quarterbacks. I would think Urban Meyer would take Trevor Lawrence. That way, he's a box office attraction, and Urban Meyer is too. What better way to get your fan base reinvigorated for the Jacksonville Jaguars than to have Urban Meyer and potentially Trevor Lawrence as your starting quarterback.
I agree with that.
Do you think Houston would make a play and trade Deshaun Watson within the division? I really don't. I would not want to see Deshaun Watson twice a year if I was Houston.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit ago on my previous episodes, but I think that Houston's going to just lock them in. Because like I said, they can franchise tag him for another 3 years till 2028. So yes. They can just nope, you're not going nowhere. You're going to deal with it. And then they can
just like James Harden in the Rockets. Well,
right.
Well, of course, eventually they traded him to Brooklyn, but they had the same situation.
Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing with Philly, or not Philly, I'm looking at NBA stuff. With Jared Goff, and it's kind of the same situation with Carson Wentz out in Philly.
Yes.
So they're kind of screwed there. That's another $100 million quarterback that has done nothing this year, at least. And they were saying how Sean McVay is like this big-time quarterback guru coach. And then now look what happened. That's the thing. I'm kind of an old school on that approach where, how that Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type situation where Brett Favre was a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers was the backup. You got to sit a little bit. You got to put in your time. You're going to practice, learn the offense with Brett Favre. And then when Brett Favre leaves, then you take over, and then you have that kind of camaraderie with your teammates now. Instead of just coming to some rookie or some newbie coming in. I know it's different age and modern era now, but they're coming in wanting him to be superstar athletes right off the bat.
Right, especially for all
it doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah, especially Adam, with all the money they're paying these kids nowadays. I know there's a crazy situation like Justin Herbert, the way he was thrown into it with the Chargers when Tyrod Taylor got the punctured lung. Remember, he got a punctured lung before one of the games, and that's how Justin Herbert's career started. And then Tua Tagovailoa, his career started kind of weirdly when they benched Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Miami Dolphins, and that's how Tua got his start, and then Jalen Hurts, how he got his start because Carson Wentz was playing awfully because he was playing terribly. So they were like, okay, let's go ahead and give Jalen Hurts a chance because, that's why they drafted him. And a lot of Eagles fans, and I'm sure a lot of people were questioning, why would you take Jalen Hurts when you got Carson Wentz here? And like you said, he's $100 million investment. Why would you take Jalen Hurts unless you really didn't believe that Carson Wentz was going to lead you back to the promised land? When in essence he didn't win a Super Bowl for you. That was Nick Foles.
He didn't. I know. And they sent him to Chicago, and he's not doing anything in Chicago.
He's not doing anything there. He went to Jacksonville, did nothing there. Then he went to Chicago. He's not doing nothing there.
No. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh, we're supposed to be talking about NBA, weren't we? We keep.
I know.
We're bouncing around. I'm bouncing you around all over the place. That's what happens.
That's okay. That's what happens when you wing it. The best shows are the ones when you really don't plan it. We just talk about whatever and it just comes together.
Right. But so we're going to talk about too. I've discussed this. So the MVP candidates for NBA. And you're the big NBA guy here, so I'll have to give it to you and throw it to you on that. What do you think's going on there?
Oh man, there's so many
top three candidates right now. Do you think?
All right, man. I'm looking at these names. Bradley Beal's having a great year for the Washington Wizards, even though they're not. They're a horrible basketball team, but Bradley Beal delivers every night for the Washington Wizards. He's got to have some MVP consideration, even though his team is goodness awful. They're awful. Of course, KD is back. Kevin Durant, and it's great to see him coming back from his ACL, all the injuries he suffered. I would think KD's up there. Who can discount LeBron James? He's got to be in the MVP talk every year, right, Adam? Right. How can LeBron James be? What is this? His 18th year? Something like that.
Oh man, he came out. I think when I graduated. So yeah, 2003 maybe he came out.
All right, let me look that up here.
2003. So 2003 to now. So it's been 18, yeah.
2004. So about 18 years. So LeBron's there. Another guy, Damian Lillard with the Portland Trailblazers. He's having another great year. He lights it up every single night.
I'll tell you one that I heard about the other day was Russell Westbrook. He's averaging a triple-double right now, by the way.
He is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so him and Bradley Beal, their team is awful, but they're playing really well. So go figure that, right?
Right. Is it John, so John Wall's not with Washington anymore? Where is he?
No, he's in Houston. He's in Houston. That was the Westbrook and John Wall trade. So they swapped teams.
Because I just watched. I remember seeing him, and I know he wasn't with Washington because.
And they played each other last week down in Houston.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's the game that I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, when they almost got into a fight.
Yeah. So Beal is in Washington.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't he go to like Kentucky or something? That name sounds familiar.
No, John Wall went to Kentucky.
Okay, so Beal did not go to Kentucky.
No.
Okay. I thought he was at Kentucky too.
No, Bradley, he went to Florida. He's a Gator.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
You know what somebody else, Adam, I would put in the MVP consideration. Even though Shaq doesn't believe in him, I would put Donovan Mitchell. He'd get some MVP votes for what he's done with the Utah Jazz.
Okay.
They're 15-4, and Donovan just balls out every night. Spider just balls out for the Utah Jazz. He probably won't get the MVP because of all those other names that I mentioned, and I'm sure Luka Doncic would be in there, and Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets would be there. There's so many really great players that are stepping up for their teams this year. But I love Spider Mitchell for the Utah Jazz. And did you watch that interview that Shaq they did with Donovan last week after their Jazz game?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen the Utah Jazz game yet.
I thought it was so disrespectful that Shaq came out and basically told Donovan that I don't believe that you have what it takes to go to the next level, and that's what he told him, Adam. Oh, wow. And Spider was just like he was kind of thrown aback by it, but he handled it so classy. He was like, "Oh, okay." But I'm like, Shaq, the man just had 30. This man just scored 36 points. Did you not just see what Spider Mitchell did in front of your very eyes, and you say he doesn't have what it takes to go to the next level? Yes, he does. Spider Mitchell is an outstanding basketball player. I love the way Donovan Mitchell plays basketball, but it's unfortunate that he was treated that way by Shaq. I don't agree with anything that he said that night, but that's just me. But Spider is the real deal for Utah.
Maybe Shaq was just trying to light a fire up under him, keep him playing like that for the whole season or something. Who knows?
Possibly, possibly because he said like when Spider responded, he was like, okay. I've been counted out. Spider was basically to the effect that, I've been counted out my entire life. Nobody really believed in me to get to this point. So I just have to continue to keep working hard. And Shaq was like, that's what I wanted to hear from you. But handle it differently, Shaq. Talk to the man differently than the way you just did. There's different ways to motivate people, Adam. You don't just come out here and just diss this dude like this on national television. Do you?
I'd be a little upset about it. No, I wouldn't like it. I know I wouldn't.
No. Shaq's obviously a Hall of Famer, won multiple championships, and he's one of the greatest to ever do this thing. But there's a certain way you carry yourself and the way you conduct yourself and the way you talk to people. You don't just come out there and just put somebody on blast like that on national TV.
Right. That's understandable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like that either. I didn't see the interview, but after you telling me all that stuff, that's I don't like that at all, really.
Yeah, go on the NBA.
Maybe it was a bad day. Maybe a bad day.
Yes. So go on the NBA on TNT YouTube page. I'm sure they have that video. It's on there with the interview with Spider Mitchell last week. I was just sitting there like, Shaq, why did you say that? Come on, man.
It was right after it was like a postseason interview or a post.
Yeah, it was a post game interview. You know how they get the players after the games, and so they had Donovan on there, and that was Shaq's question, and I was just like,
so he's like Donovan Mitchell standing on the court with the microphone,
yes, with the headset on,
right,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So Adam, so this was my look the entire time.
I've been turning it off. I'm like, man, wow, why would you say something like that? Yeah. This is an NBA player. It's not like some college kid.
Yeah, but there's so many names though. Trae Young's having a great year for the Atlanta Hawks. Steph Curry's is playing really well for the Golden State Warriors. Giannis is having an okay year, but his team is not playing well. The Milwaukee Bucks are not playing well. I believe they're 11-8. They're just, they're okay. They just don't have what it takes to take it to that next level, Adam, and make a run in the NBA Finals. And we saw it in the playoffs the last couple of years. They just do not have what it takes to come out of the Eastern Conference. And I don't know what the issue is. I don't think Giannis has really taking that next step as far as his career is concerned and how great he really can be. Although he is one of the elite players in the NBA, he just hasn't taken his team to where he needs them to be, and that's world champions.
Right. I know that Middleton guy is really good as a
Chris Middleton, yes.
He's really good. I was watching him. He stepped up his game a lot so far this year. But he's on.
Yes,
sir. See, I get that here because he's it's only Milwaukee's only an hour away from here.
Right.
So we get like the Bucks games and
you see a lot of Bucks games. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I want to go to one of the games, but I don't think you can go to any of them in Milwaukee right now. So there's a lot of.
I'm sure they probably haven't had any fans in there, have they?
No, I think they have like the workers or something. That last thing the 900 people that go to the games, I think it's like the workers, right?
Pretty much, it's the same thing. Well, it's the same thing here in Phoenix with the Suns. I don't think they've allowed any fans in for Suns games either. It's just the workers at the arena itself.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched.
Of course, the broadcasters.
Yeah, I haven't watched any NBA. Like I used to watch it every day, and when Jordan and then LeBron came out, and as soon as LeBron took his talents to South Beaches, that's when I was like, I'm done watching. So,
really? So that soured you on the NBA?
I was mad. I was so mad when LeBron left. And then he comes back trying to redeem himself, get a championship for 1 year, and then goes to LA. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I'm from Ohio. I'm an Ohio guy. He's from Youngstown or something up there. Or Akron. He's from Akron.
Akron, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've been hating that ever since. But yeah. But we're the same age. I think I'm 36. I think he's 30. He's just turned 36. We got about around the same birthdays. I think he just had a birthday where it's coming up here soon. So,
wow, small world, huh?
Yeah, very small world. So then we talked about the MVP candidates, and I ran my mouth off about LeBron. And
that's okay.
and then we got some surprising teams that you want to discuss as well in NBA.
Yeah. Who are some surprising teams to you? Who stands out to you? Like
to me,
man, I don't really think they'd be that good. Who are some teams that really caught your eye?
Number one, which is who's in first place right now in the East, is Philadelphia 76ers. I can't believe how good they're playing right now. And then coming from South Jersey, literally, I lived 20 minutes away from Philly, and I live south of Philly, out in New Jersey, and that's all they talked about was Philadelphia sports all the time. I got tired of hearing it. But I didn't think Joel Embiid was going to play well this year. I didn't know he was going to step his game up like that. I watched him against, I forget who he played against. Dude was doing step back jumpers. He was making threes. He was posting. I was like, this is a totally different breed of new era of centers anymore. Like gone are the days where you just post up and then work the center. Used to offensive plays worked around the center. You threw it into the center and then things would open up. Now it's totally different. Everybody's like on the outside. They're cutting, they're picking, they're slashing. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, look at Nikola Jokic. He's a classic example. Joker can step out and hit threes. We saw it in the playoffs last year. Joker can hit it from anywhere. He doesn't have to be down in the low post. He can hit you from 15, 18 foot out. He can go back behind the three-point arc and hit shots. Just like with Embiid, like you mentioned. And I think Doc Rivers being there has made a real impact on Joel Embiid because Doc is that he's that dude. We saw what he did with the Clippers so many years, although unceremoniously he got fired, but he picked up really quickly with the Sixers. He's got a good basketball team there with Embiid and Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris and the rest of that crew there. They've got a really good basketball team there, and they're currently like a game and a half ahead of Brooklyn. So that'll be a good race for that Atlantic division between Philly and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Boston.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a surprising team for me, but the Brooklyn Nets is kind of a surprising move during the offseason, getting all them players. But I do like Kyrie Irving, but I don't know if his head's getting in the way. Is his heart in the way? Is he just upset about certain things that happen? Is he going to get his mind right during the season? I know we're still early in the NBA season, so a lot of things can happen. They can go on like a big run and then end up being first in the East. So what he said, they're only half going back anyway. So it doesn't, I just want someone to be able to compete in the NBA Finals against the Lakers, because we're obviously probably going to say the Lakers are going to be in the finals. So I want a team in the East Milwaukee's not that team.
No.
I'm just hoping, but Brooklyn doesn't have any defense either with their players. So it's going to be like 140, 145 type games.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll develop a defense as the season goes on. Maybe Steve Nash will work that with his players as he's getting used to his new big three now. And we know Steve Nash was all about defense when he was here with the Suns, and then the Suns and the Lakers, and he had his little run in Dallas too. He played with the Mavericks.
He played with Dirk. So
yes. So Steve Nash he was one of the ultimate shutdown point guards.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes time for him to get used to his players and his players to get used to each other. And maybe he'll figure, okay, yeah, if we want to go up against the Lakers in the finals, the best defensive team in the league statistically, then we've got to be able to play defense ourselves.
Right.
Yes, we have three of the best players in the NBA with Durant and Irving and James Harden, but we got to be able to shut people down eventually, right?
Right.
Yeah, because once the playoffs start, things really tighten up, Adam. We all know that you don't get shots like you normally used to during the regular season because those defenses clamp down, and you got to be able to adjust to that. And if they don't, oof. But okay, surprise team to me. I'm kind of looking at the teams.
How are your Suns doing out there? I don't ever get to see West Coast.
They won on Saturday night. They beat the Dallas Mavericks, and the night before, a couple of nights before that, they beat Golden State. So they're 10-8. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They've been okay. Devin Booker's missed the last 4 games. He's had a hamstring issue, so he hasn't played in the last 4 games. But Chris Paul stepped up really well since Booker's been out, and they take way too many 3-point shots. They need to get the ball to DeAndre Ayton a lot more. They need to get more of a low post presence with Ayton and develop him more. They got to get that pit bull out of DeAndre Ayton. They got to get that. He's got to develop that heart if he wants to be considered one of the best big men in the league. But that's probably something Monty Williams has got to work out. But their philosophy is like the Houston Rockets: just throw up threes.
Oh, right.
But they're 10-8. They're about 5 games behind the Clippers. They're in 3rd place behind the Lakers. So we figure it'll be the Clippers and the Lakers going back and forth in that Pacific division. But as long as the Suns can stay relevant and around close enough to be maybe a 5 or 6 seed, maybe worst case a 7 seed, then that's good. They haven't been in the playoffs in well over a decade, Adam. So for them to even make the playoffs,
I haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah, they went 8-0 in the bubble last year in Orlando, but didn't make the playoffs. But that was something that a lot of Suns fans and the organization was excited about, that they went to Orlando. They were the only team to go undefeated, although they didn't make the playoffs. But it's something to build on, right?
Yeah, I haven't knew anything relevant in Phoenix Suns organization since Charles Barkley and KJ.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Remember him back in the day?
Yes. It's been that long, but it's, so Robert Sarver's the owner. He's the managing partner of the Suns. So he's found a new way to kind of step back and let his general manager, James Jones, and his head coach, Monty Williams, kind of run the ship. And Robert Sarver, he's the man, he signs the checks. He okays everything from an executive standpoint. And that's why you hire a general manager and a head coach so they can do their jobs, right? And not interfere, not like a Jerry Jones does.
Exactly. I just said that the other day with the 3 keys to a good organization. You got to have your captain of the ship type deal, your ownership, your coaching, and your players. They all have to go pretty much blend hand to hand. But once you start having, just like in Green Bay, I was going to discuss that too. Just like in Green Bay having with Aaron Rodgers, we don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I can't wait to talk about
that up here. All freaking out. So
I can't wait to talk about that. Yeah, that's coming. But
So we'll stay with the NBA right now, but I was going to give a little teaser in there because I know these people around here love the Green Bay Packers. So let's go to old school.
Okay.
Let's go NBA old school fouls. I know we talked about this before we started. So we talked about how the fouls, technicals, there was never like a 2-tier technical, I don't think, but back in the day, that's kind of new. The past 5 to 10 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
Used to just be like a flagrant. They used to just be one and you're
flagrant, then you're gone. Yep.
Right. But back in the day, I told you off air, we were talking about how I was a post guy. I mean, I was small, but I could jump. So you were able, like I said, you were able to, kind of bow your way in down low, get your way in it. But they could also elbow you too. I used to have bruises on my sides and on my back every game because we just elbow each other the whole time. But as long as you didn't extend it out, you're fine. Same thing with defense. You used to be able to have that hand check.
Yes.
On defense, you used to be able to stand there like this and hand check. Now you can't do that anymore.
And it's similar to football where you can't lead with the crown of your helmet, but you can still make a hard tackle. But if you lead with the crown of your helmet, just like you're saying with the elbow, then that's a no-no. Then you can potentially get ejected for that. It's the same kind of theory in essence.
And then also too, which we were taught this. I was taught this in school. When you grab the rebound, you clear. So which that meant was you get the rebound and you clear with your bow. Clear them out of the way, and then throw it to the point guard. And you'd get ejected from a game if you did something like that. You can't do that anymore. Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just it almost feels like it's a bunch of babies playing the game anymore, or maybe it's just a transition to the modern era. I mean, you can say two different ways, but to me, how I played, I was really kind of rough, physical, in your face type player. So seeing how this league is now, it's kind of much like a baby-fied league anymore to me. But that's why. But it's more like a shooter's mentality. It's not an inside game anymore. So
it is. It's a different league now than it was in the 80s and 90s. When we grew up loving the Bad Boys and the way that they and the Bulls and the New York Knicks and the Celtics, all those teams just went back and forth and just hated each other every time they played each other. It was pretty much a near brawl every game, and you loved it because that's the way the NBA, and for the most part, those referees let them play. They let them play that way. But now it's a different league. It's a different way that Adam Silver and the National Basketball Association is treating their players. It's a different way that they're catering to the players, and of course, it's a players' league. That's why we watch the games for the athletes, because we want to see them run up and down the court and shoot baskets and get some dunks and play some really good basketball. It's just the way that they are officiating and the way that the players are being treated.
Yeah, I think it's just after watching NBA. I have watched a few games already this season, which is surprising because I haven't watched a full game in years. But trying to get back into watching all my sports, NBA, basketball, baseball, and football are like my main. So trying to get back into it, and hockey. I watch a little bit of hockey, but anyways, so it's not like like I said, it's not like a go down the court, working in the center and moving around. It's more fast, like a West Coast style offense anymore, where it's like a fast pace, try to get down the court as quick as possible, or you get your sets in, but it's not work. Your sets aren't working in the center. It's almost like guard play anymore, just like a weave, like you're doing your 3-man weave game almost, where they come off pick and rolls and all that. It's not old school like Utah Jazz, Karl Malone. It's almost like that, but it's just more of a modernized type style to it.
Yeah, that Malone Stockton, those days are long gone.
Right.
Like you said, when you feed it down to the big fella, feed it down to number 32, Stockton comes up. He knows Karl is going to be there, so he's like, I'm gonna feed you, big fella. It's up to you. The
defense is a lot different now too, though. There used to be a defense back then was hardcore.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, for instance, I'm sorry. So I'm just looking at the Clippers Knicks box score from today. This is just indicative of the way the league is. So the Clippers took 81 shots, right? 38 of them were threes. So almost half of their shots were 3-pointers. It's a 3-pointer. It's a shooter's league. It's a shooter's mentality. And this is what people want to see nowadays. They want to see these players just chunk up threes. They want to see, Paul George take 8 3-pointers and only make one of them.
Right. Right. And then way back there, I've seen a couple of them actually make it from almost at the logo. That one guy was at the logo last night. Did you see that shot? I forget who it was, but he just caught it. He was sitting there like this, and he went like this to like push the guys, go down low, and he's like, boom, and he switched it too. I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was unheard of. You would get benched for doing that back in the day. That's for sure.
But now that's pretty commonplace now. It's a different league. It's a different way that teams play their games.
That's just the way it is, I guess. But I
I
guess
do
I'll have to
miss
get over it.
I do miss those games back in the day, Adam. Man, just the Celtics, the Celtics and the Pistons, the rivalry they had. Then when Jordan came in, when Jordan was trying to get his way and trying to fight his way past the Pistons and the Celtics, and he was denied so many years, and then he finally reached over the hump, and then he went on and won 6 championships. And the Pistons had their championships with the Bad Boys, and of course Magic and the Lakers had their runs, and the Sixers had some runs, and we talked about the Knicks. They had a few good teams, not a lot.
Yeah.
That 94 team was really good.
They won the championship that one year, I believe. Didn't they win the championship over Chicago, or they went to the championship, something like that, over Chicago?
That was against Houston. They lost to the Rockets. That was 94.
Okay. That was Akeem Olajuwon.
Yes. Yep. That was the team we were talking about that had Charles Oakley and Mason and John Starks on the Knicks.
Oh yeah, John Starks.
And Doc Rivers was on there. Yes,
I like John Starks. Doc Rivers played for the Knicks, right? Yeah.
Doc was on that team. Yes.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
I used to have Ewings. Remember the high top Ewings back in the day?
Yes.
I had those.
Well, you know, I'm from Maryland, so I grew up with Patrick and Big John, Coach John Thompson, rest in peace, Big John. They had some great teams back then.
Are you about Georgetown?
Yes, the Hoyas.
Nice. Yeah, they won in 85, 84, 85, I believe. They won it.
84.
84, yeah.
And then 85, Villanova beat them. Remember?
Okay. I think so.
Yeah, 83 was NC State, and then 82 it was North Carolina. And then 85, Villanova beat them.
Okay. They were skinny dudes back in the day, man. You see how skinny they were?
Yeah.
Man.
These kids nowadays, they're horses.
I know. They're grown men and like young kids, grown men bodies.
I'm like, what are you kids eating nowadays that you're so big?
I remember
it's the same thing I say about my sons. I'm like, y'all need to stop eating. This is ridiculous.
Because I was a toothpick back in the day. I think I was 165, 170, 6'1", 6'2". And I was like, I was thin, skinny. And yeah, I had to bulk up my junior, senior year. And I moved up to like 190 when I was a junior and senior.
Okay.
But for basketball. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I went to a high school football game not that long ago, a couple of years ago. And I just couldn't believe how big these dudes were. Like almost all of them were taller than me. All of them were bigger than me.
Oh yeah.
I used to be like big. Like I used to be like in school. I used to be like known as like kind of like the tall, kind of bigger guy, you know. And I wasn't even that big at all compared to these kids. Now I'm a punter.
Yeah.
I'm like a punter.
These kids have grown men bodies. You know, they're 17, 18 years old, and you see them on the field. You're like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
You're so big.
6'7", 6'8", 6'6", like
and they run like the wind. And they run forever.
I know. It's crazy.
Not like us. Not like us.
Think about Zion. You didn't mention Zion Williamson.
I like Zion. I like him.
You think he's too big? You think he's more like a Shaq almost type? Does he need to lose weight, or do you think he should stay where he's at?
I think he could probably stand to lose some weight and kind of muscle up some more. And I'm sure over time that'll come as he matures and plays more years in the league. But he probably could stand to lose a little bit of weight and kind of get some more muscle, get some more definition on his body. But for right now, it's working for him. He's playing well in New Orleans.
Okay.
I know he obviously he had the injury and his career didn't start off the way he wanted it to from a physical standpoint. Then he had some COVID issues. Just like it seems like a lot of teams are having this year, like the Grizzlies and the Wizards and the Suns. We had some issues with the COVID situation. So it's been a crazy year, Adam, with the NBA because there's been so many postponements and games have been stopped and teams have gone like weeks without playing games like the Celtics. There was a stretch where I believe they went pretty much almost an entire week without playing a game because they didn't have enough guys to field a basketball team.
Right. That's crazy.
It's just been that kind of year, and I hope it. I know you said you're a baseball fan, just like me. I hope it doesn't happen in baseball. I really hope we can get a full 162 in this year. Do you think we can?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. There's just more players too, more things to worry about. I mean, you would think that basketball would be easier because there's only like 11 man roster or something like that on there. You should be able to police everybody pretty easily there. And then I'm really surprised with the NFL. They did a really good job with everything. They didn't miss any games.
Yeah,
they pretty much got every single game in. I mean, they just said screw it. If you're out, you're out. Play.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, we're still going on. We're getting all of our games in.
Like a couple of days, but you need to keep going. That's what they would do.
Yeah, like the Ravens and Steelers, they pushed that game back so many times. I believe they played that game on a Wednesday, and then the following week, the Steelers had to play Washington on a Tuesday. So that's how serious.
Stat. Oh, sorry. What about that stat about they had like what was it? They had a basketball championship or something, and then they had a football championship, and then it was a basketball, baseball, football, golf, hockey, or something all in one day, on the same day.
Yes.
Remember that? It was the first time it's ever happened in history.
That was crazy. Yes.
But I think it was Augusta or something. I think that was back in September. Or something like that.
Yes.
Masters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was nuts. That was really cool though. I like that.
But you're right. Is the fact that the NFL got all 256 in this year was an incredible achievement. But this baseball thing is a different animal, Adam, because there's so much more travel involved. I don't know how they're going to do this with all these teams going cross country for weeks on end, and how are they going to work out with like the Toronto Blue Jays? Are they going to allow teams to actually travel into Canada and allow the Blue Jays to travel into the United States, or are they going to do it like they did with the Raptors, where the Raptors are down in Florida? They're not even back in Toronto playing home games. What are they going to do with the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if you do everything like in a bubble like they did. Who did they do that in college basketball or something last year, or NBA too?
Okay. NBA and NHL did their bubbles.
Yeah, and they just went down to like Orlando and had everybody down in Orlando.
Yep, and the NCAA tournament's going to be in a bubble too. They're going to have that in Indianapolis, I believe.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So are they still doing that in March?
Yes, as far as their plan, that's what they plan on. Yeah, we pray nothing crazy happens, but that's what they're going to plan on doing. Right. And a lot of I believe they said a lot of the regional games are going to be played like maybe I think at Ohio State, Purdue, some of the surrounding colleges, so they can stay in the whole Indianapolis area to get this thing in.
That'd be cool.
And I don't know if they're going to play some at the Pacers at the Fieldhouse where the Pacers play, but they're going to try to do their best to get these games in, and I hope they do. And it goes off as much of without as much of a hitch as possible.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited about. Did they even do the Hawaii Invitational like they used to do?
I don't think they did Maui. I don't think they did Maui this year.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. I think they just went and started right into it, kind of like the NFL. No preseason, no nothing, just go into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of hatred towards the bubble, a lot of likes towards the bubble. I kind of like it because you can at least police everybody in one spot. Like you said, that would be cool to have just in surrounding areas within like maybe 100-mile, 30-mile radius or whatever, and just bounce everybody around and then keep everybody like maybe like the Sweet 16 is here or this is here, the regionals are here. And then
they'll have the final four at Lucas Oil Stadium where the Colts play.
Right. And then kind of like leave it on around surrounding and then work your way into Indy. That way
Indianapolis, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. That'd be
I'm
cool.
sure. Like you said, I'm sure they have their radius planned on where they want these games to be played. And it's kind of similar to there's news that MLB wants to do an all-star game and the NBA possibly wants to do an all-star game down in Atlanta. And they don't know whether they're going to I would think in Atlanta they play where the Braves play their games for baseball, and the NBA they're talking about either Phillips Arena where the Hawks play or at maybe one of the HBCU campuses. And they probably wouldn't have like the media day and all the hoopla that surrounds an all-star game, but they're planning on trying to get an all-star game in. So that would be kind of cool if they did that.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
That would be kind of cool. So they will probably bubble that thing up too, like they're doing with the NCAA.
Right. They're not even having NFL All-Stars.
No, Pro Bowl.
They didn't have one. They didn't have Pro Bowl. They didn't have nothing. So they're just basically having the All-Stars, and then they're showing them, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I wish they would do some kind. What if they would? You know how they used to have that quarterback challenge and all that stuff. Are they still doing anything like that?
Oh, like the skills competition? I don't think so. I didn't hear about anything about that.
They're not even doing that. Man, I'm kind of upset about that.
I know, and I'm just interested to see what they're going to do all next week for the week before the Super Bowl. And there's the talk that the Chiefs won't even arrive in Tampa until Saturday, the day before the game.
Really?
Yes, which is crazy. Usually they would probably be flying out today they'd be flying out to Tampa today. Yes, but now with this COVID thing, they're going to be in Kansas City until Friday or Saturday. Then they fly in for the game, just like a regular road trip. Adam, when they fly out on the day before the game, they'll do the Super Bowl, and I don't know what they're going to do post game, like for after the game, and maybe that Monday they usually have press conferences after that. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, so you basically wouldn't you want to get to know the field and all that? They're not even going to know anything like that. They're going to get there the day before and then be like, okay, try to practice on the field.
But luckily for the Chiefs, they were already there this year. They went there in week 12, and they remember that was that game that Tyreek Hill had 203 yards receiving in the first quarter. Remember that game?
Yep.
So they've been to Tampa this year. They're familiar with it. But you're right. It's like, man, we get there a day before, and how are we going to get acclimated to this field? Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, this is their home stadium. They know this field. We don't.
On another like kind of psyche thing,
are we talking NFL now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
so like on a psych type standpoint, if you're a Kansas City Chief, and just knowing I don't know if this is even going to be in your head or not, but if just knowing that they've never hosted a team's never hosted a Super Bowl, and then knowing that Tampa Bay, the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay, so it's basically a home game for Tampa, and then you're coming in. Would you think that with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and Hill and all them? Do you think they're thinking about any of that, or is that just like a nothing type thing?
I don't think it's nothing, because one, there's only going to be about 22,000 fans there, so it's not going to be a completely full stadium. And the cool thing the NFL did is 7,500 of those fans are going to be first responders, like nurses and doctors from the medical field, first responders, which is cool. So they're giving about 8,000 of the first responders free tickets to the Super Bowl, which is a great move by the NFL. So 8,000 of those fans of the 22,000 are going to be first responders. That's a great move by the NFL to do that. So one, it's not going to be a completely full stadium. And two, they're professionals. They're just like, okay, this is the situation that we're thrown into. It's not ideal that we don't have a week to prepare for this, and we're going to fly out the day before the Super Bowl and expect to play in this game. But they were in the Super Bowl last year, Adam, of course, you know that, and they were down 10 points to the San Francisco 49ers. This is what they do. They're professionals. They're paid millions of dollars to play a sport that we all know and love. So it's just a situation that they know they're forced, that they have no control over this. They prepare as much as they can at home this entire week. Then they get on a plane, get on a charter flight, and just go to Tampa on Saturday or Friday or Saturday, whenever they get there, and they do their last minute preparations. And Sunday, a week from today, they'll a couple hours, almost 24 hours from now, they'll get on the field, and it's time to get it on.
Mm-hmm. I can agree. I'll be scared of Kansas City. I'll tell you that much, because you never know. They turn that switch so easily.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And they have so much talent. They have so much. I think, I don't know. I have Kansas City winning. I actually did a poll on LinkedIn where it was really close. It was a lot closer than I thought it'd be, because I thought Kansas City was going to pull it away, but it was like 56 to like 44 or something like that %.
Really?
And it was really close. Yeah, I was kind of impressed with that. On another note, working backwards, I had Buffalo and Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Me too.
So I don't know what was going on. Josh Allen just crumbled in that AFC championship game.
Well, here's what went on. They went up 9-0, and then you let number 15 get loose. And you can't stop Travis Kelce. You can't stop Tyreek Hill. And then they scored 21 straight points. And then, what are you going to do? And then Kansas City's defense were all after Josh Allen all day long. Tyrann Mathieu, Daniel Sorensen, those safeties.
The Honey Badger from LSU.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he used to be a Cardinal. He used to be here in Arizona. I love that kid. He just plays with his hair on fire. That kid he's running everywhere. And their defense is good. They got a really good defense, but I don't think their defense is as good as Tampa's. Tampa's defense is outstanding. That front seven they have is one of the best in the league. Their linebackers are really good. Their safeties are good. There's two really good defensive coordinators, Steve Spagnuolo for the Chiefs and Todd Bowles for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're going to draw up some kind of schemes to stop the opposing quarterbacks. And how are you going to stop the greatest of all time? And how are you going to stop the baby goat? We call him the baby goat, Patrick Mahomes. The goat versus the baby goat. This is going to be a great game, Adam. So, and if Kansas City wins, we've talked about this on our show. Do you think this would be the passing of the torch to Patrick Mahomes from the goat to the baby goat if he wins?
I don't think you want to know my thoughts on that because I'm not a big Tom Brady fan. Obviously, I don't like Tom Brady at all, but I give him props. He is the goat.
You better not like him. You better not like him.
Right. But with Patrick Mahomes, I almost think if it's I don't even want to get into all that because I think Deshaun Watson is actually probably the best QB overall in the NFL compared to what he has. Compared to what he has, and his talent is just incredible. I don't think, and if you put Deshaun Watson on Kansas City, it's over. And I think anybody with any mobile quarterback that can throw a little bit, even Lamar Jackson, put Lamar Jackson in Kansas City, it's over. Like Kansas City, their talent around them makes that quarterback look even better than what he is. Even though I'm not going to discredit Patrick Mahomes, I'm just saying anybody that's on that as a QB with that team is going to look good. Same as Tampa Bay. I'm not discrediting Tom Brady, but you got multiple. Their defense is like pretty much number one, like you said, and then you got all kinds of talent all around you. So Tom Brady just sitting there loving this. Patrick Mahomes, same thing. See, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't have the whole lot of. He was getting 5,000 passing yards a year with not any that much talent around him either. So. And then same as Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was at 5,000 passing yards this year, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So,
Adam, I disagree. I disagree. Aaron Rodgers has talent. He's got one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best, in Devontae Adams. He's got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, he's a Pro Bowler. He's got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's a really good young.
I'm not talking about this year.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant this year. Okay.
No. I'm not talking about this year, but I was talking about like just Aaron Rodgers in the past and what he has done with that team before. He only had like one player, one superstar, on his team, and then he'd still get 5,000 passing yards. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. I can't get over how all these sports analysts on ESPN or on Fox Sports is not talking about Deshaun Watson and how good he is. And I just hope that whoever that ownership is in Houston can just build around him. You got to get an O-line. You got to get a good running back. You got to stack your defense up a little bit, and they can do something. But I think Deshaun Watson is almost kind of like done, kind of like like I said in my show before, a Barry Sanders Detroit Lions type deal where he's doing everything and you're not building around him. He's done. Like he's going to be like Barry Sanders, retire early if you're going to keep doing this to him. And I don't like it, but I just love the kid. But
I sure hope not. I hope you're wrong on that part, and I think you are wrong because Deshaun is supremely talented. Like you said, one of the best young quarterbacks, if not the best in the league. And if he's not in Houston, there's a lot of other teams that would love to have him, i.e. a Washington football team would love to have him. If Drew Brees retires, can you see him in New Orleans? Yes, I can see him there. The Jets, there's so many rumors about him potentially going to the Jets. Would Robert Saleh, the brand new head coach, make a splash by bringing in Deshaun Watson? They've got a ton of cap space. They can make some moves to get Deshaun Watson there, but I really believe his career is done in Houston. He's not going to come back there, and if Houston just wants to continue to play ball with him, I've read so many articles about how they can find him day by day from missing training camp and not playing games, and they can take his workout bonus and this and that. He can lose so much money, but at this point. Right. Does he really care about money? Will it be like a Le'Veon Bell situation in Pittsburgh where he bet on himself and he sat out that whole entire year and lost so much money, and that was his decision. He was like, okay, I'm standing on my principles. I'm not coming back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then you see where he is right now, playing for a Super Bowl next week in Kansas City.
Right. Two of them, Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell.
Yes. Okay. So where do you think Deshaun would go if the Texans were to deal him? What
There's
are
been
some teams?
I kind of agree. I kind of disagree with the staying in the division thing because I think he might actually stay in a division just to show, I'm gonna show you up type thing in Indianapolis or something like that. Because
Adam,
a lot of
Houston is not going
to East. They've done that.
Houston is not going to deal him to Indianapolis or Jacksonville. They don't want to see him twice a year.
He probably wants to go.
They don't want to be reminded.
Wants to go to one of those teams, but you're right. The organization does not want him to go.
No, they don't want to be reminded. They don't want to be reminded of Deshaun Jackson twice a year. They want him as far away from them as possible. Send him to an NFC team and let the chips fall where they may. Send him to Chicago. The Bears would love to have him, wouldn't they?
Yeah. That sounds. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that idea. Let's see. Yeah, like you said, the Jets.
The Broncos, they've never had stability at quarterback since Peyton.
Oh, geez,
I don't know if he'd want to go to the Broncos. They don't really have anything. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to the Broncos.
I don't know if I want to be in the same division as Patrick and Justin Herbert.
Detroit?
Well, they seem like they're set with Jared Goff. They got Goff.
I wouldn't be happy with him though.
I think he might want to wait and see. I think New Orleans will be a great deal for him. If Breeze retires, he can slide in there. He's got talent there, Adam. He's got Alvin Kamara, one of the best running backs in the league. He's got Michael Thomas. If he's healthy, he's got Emmanuel Sanders. He's got stout defense.
You wouldn't stay with was it Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston?
Winston's a free agent, so he may or may not be back. And if you're New Orleans, if you're Sean Payton, would you not want to make a deal for a once in a generation talent like Deshaun Watson? Wouldn't you love to have him there?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, you say goodbye. You say goodbye to Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill is still a really good backup. But do you think he's really built for a 16-game season? Taysom Hill as your starting quarterback? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he did pretty good though. I was kind of impressed with what he did. But yeah, I would like to. Deshaun Watson in New Orleans. That'd be a good move. I think that'd be a good move. Sean Payton would get him. I think they would mesh well together.
Yeah, possibly the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. I can see him going really anywhere, really, because he's just anywhere would be probably better than with some kind of line and maybe a decent running back. He'd be pretty good. Oh my gosh, in New Orleans, like you said, it was Kamara in the backfield. That's a wrap.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Before Pittsburgh
Michael Thomas.
Yes. Before the Steelers signed Dwayne Haskins, I would have potentially thought the Steelers, because we don't know if Ben's going to come back. What is his status? Does he want to run it back another year? Do the Steelers want him back? But from all reports I've read, it seems like Ben wants to come back, and the Steelers want to give him at least one more chance,
right? At
least one more season. But if Ben was deciding to retire, I'd say the Steelers would be in play. But even if he's not retiring, why would the Rooneys not want to pick up the phone and call Deshaun Watson's agent and say, "Hey, what do we got to do to get your guy to Pittsburgh?"
Yeah, what's that cap space looking like though in Pittsburgh? They have enough cap space to. Does Pittsburgh have enough cap space to be able to sign him? And I think New Orleans might be able to. I don't know what their cap situation looks like as well.
Right,
but I don't want to see him in Pittsburgh because I don't like Pittsburgh. They're one of the two teams that I don't like the most in the NFL. But one would be New England Patriots and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. But how about New England?
That would be a Belichick move, but he has no weapons in New England. He has no receivers and no running backs, and that was the problem. That was the problem with the Patriots this year. Cam Newton had nobody to throw to or hand the ball off to, really, and that's why the Patriots struggled, because Bill Belichick says we didn't have any money to really go out and get anybody, and that's why Cam Newton played he played iffy football this year, and the COVID situation. After he had COVID and he came back, you could tell he wasn't the same player he was before he got COVID. So combine that with a lack of talent in New England, and at least 8 of your guys opting out this year because of COVID, and a lot of your guys on defense opting out because of COVID. And that's why the Patriots were where they were, and they didn't make the playoffs this year.
I'll tell you what really surprised me with the Cam Newton note that you're talking about was I called it in the very beginning of the season, which I was wrong.
Another one?
No. I was wrong on this one. I thought for sure. I said, watch. I did say New England wasn't going to make this playoffs. I did call that, but also I thought Cam Newton, with getting some, how he was in Carolina when he kind of like cried like a baby and he would get upset a lot. He was always mad all the time. And he called out his players, and it was just kind of like really immaturity. I'm very impressed with him this year. And with when he was in New England, he didn't do any of that. He didn't call out anybody. He took responsibility for his actions. I mean, I was really surprised. I like that about him. He moved up a lot in my book because of that.
Yeah, me too. I forgot Ryan Fitzpatrick is a free agent, so potentially Miami could be in play for Deshaun Watson.
I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't think they should have done that move, but that was just me.
To bench him for Tua?
Yeah. I would have kept Fitzpatrick in. He was doing really well, career highs and everything. But yeah, I really like him. He was playing really, really well. I liked him when he was at the Jets, and then I liked him in Miami. He was playing his best football of his career in Miami this year. And then they benched him for Tua. They must have seen something, but they obviously didn't see all that much because they didn't do anything.
Right.
Didn't make the playoffs or anything like that. I just would have kept with Fitz, but just the way it is.
It's
not my fault.
But Deshaun I'd like to see him down in Miami. Deshaun could slide right in there in Miami. Brian Flores has done a great job down in Miami. He's building a nice little football team down there in Miami Gardens. I like them.
Who's their running back? Who's that running back down there?
Let me go.
Miami Dolphins running back. I should know.
Miami Dolphins. I should know that too. I know Salvon Ahmed was one of their big backs toward the end of the year. Malcolm Perry, Myles Gaskin.
I didn't know any of them. Are they like freshmen or rookies?
The Dolphins have never really been that really geared toward running the football. It's been a long time since they have been a really good running football team.
The last running back I could think of is Ricky Williams.
Yes, me too.
I can't even tell you one after that. A good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least 1,000-yard rusher. I wonder how long that's been for Miami.
It's been a long time.
So we talked about the AFC, NFC.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the Super Bowl a little bit.
Or do you want to talk some Packers football before we go to the Super Bowl? Since you're in Wisconsin, let's talk some Packers.
We'll talk about the Packers right now. We can talk about that because I got that Phillip Rivers thing too. That I was wanting to ask you as well. So we'll talk Green Bay and then we'll go to Phillip Rivers after that. So I've never been to Lambeau Field. You said you have. You said it's pretty sweet.
Yes,
it was going to be like 20 degrees. Oh no, it was going. Yeah, I forgot. They're not even in the playoffs anymore. I forgot. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
The year I went was when Phillip was with the Chargers. I did a broadcast for Westwood One. We did a radio broadcast. That was a couple years ago. Lambeau. That's when they actually had fans in the stadiums. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. That was one of the, if not the greatest stadium I've ever been to for a broadcast. It was incredible because there's a neighborhood surrounding the Green Bay Packers. And of course, the Packers are owned by their fans, the only team in professional sports to be owned by their fans, which is really cool. But it is an incredible backdrop, Adam. It is incredible. It's just in the middle of a neighborhood. You've got one of the most hallowed buildings in the entire world. And there's people that live around it. It's great. And
I was going to ask you that too, because I knew that Green Bay was owned by the people that lived in the city. I didn't know if they still had that, because I guess apparently you were able to buy stock back in the day.
Yes. Yeah, I think you still are able to buy stock in them.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think so. I believe so.
Cool.
But so I'm just reflecting back on last Sunday. That game, it was so disappointing that Tom Brady throws 3 straight interceptions and the Packers only get 6 points. They can't capitalize off of that. And the first half, Tom in the Buccaneers, he's got like 8 or 9 chunk plays. He just gashed that defense, and he throws that touchdown to Scotty Miller right before the half. That 39-yard touchdown. I'm just like,
blew right by the corner. I was so mad. What are you doing?
Yeah, you got Kevin King there and no safety help over the top. No,
you don't let him go behind you.
No, not before the half. That's what Tom does. He did it. He did it this season when they went to Las Vegas. He did the same exact thing before the half. He threw a touchdown to Scotty. So it's like that's what they do.
What about Aaron Rodgers not running in for a touchdown, or at least trying to get close to it? What was up with that?
On 3rd and 8?
Yeah. He was right there. He had a wide open.
He did. He could have. He could have ran. He could have, but he was trying to get the ball to Devontae. He didn't make that completion. And then, of course, the infamous not going for it on 4th and 8, kicking a field goal, getting to Mason Crosby, kick a field goal, thinking you're going to stop Tom Brady with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, all they needed is 2 first downs. They didn't even need to score. All you needed was 2 first downs and it's over. And
yes,
there you go.
Yes, because even if Aaron would have gotten 5 or 6 yards, it would have been 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Then maybe LaFleur would have said, okay, 12, we got 2 or 3 yards. It's on you. Go out and do it. But why would you not put your belief in one of the greatest players in Packers history, if not one of the greatest quarterbacks ever? He's a magician. It's what he does, Adam. Why would you not say, all right, Aaron, this is your moment.
Right.
We've seen you do this time and time again. You rescue the Packers from utter doom. What? Put it in Aaron's hands, and then if it doesn't work out, at least Matt LaFleur knew in his heart of hearts he laid the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands, and there's nothing he could do. He could sleep good that night knowing he laid everything on the line. He let his quarterback either lead them to the Super Bowl or they lost the game because of it.
Right.
And instead of kicking a field goal and so many people second guessing you as to why you didn't let Aaron Rodgers do it. This is the MVP of the league. He threw 48 touchdowns during the season, but you can't let him take a 4th and 8 call with the NFC Championship on the line and a trip to the Super Bowl. You won't let Aaron Rodgers take your team to the Super Bowl potentially?
Right. I agree. It was a bad call. That's the thing that when Aaron Rodgers was talking about in the post-game press conference, when he was talking about what was that term that he used? Mystically, I don't know. Mysterious something he said that him and LaFleur were talking about. So he don't know what's going to happen in his future because he might not even want to be there anymore after that call. I'd almost not even want to play with you anymore because they're already a rift in the whole organization with him and LaFleur and Rodgers already. And then I'm an MVP, even just a prideful thing. I'm an MVP player in the NFL, and you're not going to let me do my thing. And you're wanting to just kick a field goal?
Yeah, and it also started with them taking Jordan Love with that pick in last year's NFL draft. I know that did not make Aaron Rodgers happy that they picked Jordan Love, which they think maybe his potential successor, as opposed to getting a running back or maybe a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, somebody on defense, somebody that could help Aaron Rodgers this year, not in the future. And I'm sure that
older. He's like 37, 38, something like that.
37. Now? But he's still playing at a high level, Adam. Right, the man threw 48. He threw 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions during the season. He's not slowing down. He could play for 3 to 5 more years. There's no slowdown in Aaron Rodgers. And I think that lit a fire under him, them picking Jordan Love. And they're probably he's probably thinking, okay, so they don't believe in me, huh? They want to take a quarterback and not give me any help. Okay, I'll go out and show them. Right. And I think this 4th and 8 thing really, really hurt the relationship between him and Matt LaFleur. And I'm sure that's something they'll have to hash out during the offseason. But hey, things are not all rosy in Packers land right now.
No, it's not. I'm kind of worried about all these guys up here. They're big Packer fans up here. I don't really talk.
What's everybody saying? What are they on the side of back there in Wisconsin?
Oh, they don't want to see Rodgers go. They don't think anything's going to happen. But, the kind of naive type situation, not wanting to see what's going on up here. Like there is a rift and what's going on. But they're saying that they're not going to let him go. But, you can also say that too, where it would be stupid to let them go. But if Aaron Rodgers wants to leave, there's nothing you can do about it if he's wanting to leave. I don't know how much time he's got on his contract or what he has any say, so I'm sure it's not as like a Deshaun Watson situation. It's more.
I think he's got 2 or 3 more years left on his contract, so he's still under contract. But I think he's got an out after this year. But it's something. If a guy does not want to be in an organization like a Deshaun Watson or potentially an Aaron Rodgers, then You've got to do your best to concede and make some concessions and get him out of there.
Yeah, we've already seen that before. They usually, yeah.
Yeah, if he's not happy, then you got to do your best to move him. And of course, for Aaron Rodgers, there'll probably be 30 other teams. Well, the team that will get Deshaun Watson wouldn't want him. They wouldn't need him. So there's potentially 30 other teams that would want Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, wouldn't you want him on your team? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
A Hall of Famer? Yes.
I'd like to, if I was Aaron Rodgers, just put myself in his shoes. I'd like to be somewhere. If you're not going to try to help me out, and then all the stuff that went LaFleur you put me through, I'm leaving. Like, I'm sorry, you know, I don't even really like being here with you anyway. Like, I love the Packers organization, and I never was treated like how they talked about Brett Favre. Brett Favre was treated like a god there. It's totally different with Aaron Rodgers now. It's kind of like always been a little rift there in the organization, I believe. It's not like the same. Like, you're the second best Green Bay Packer quarterback. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see it out here, because Brett Favre's like the number one. And then you got Aaron Rodgers, which is like kind of like still considered, like, in my eyes, the backup. But I would probably rather go somewhere where I could be appreciated, be loved. I don't know if I'd see me going to the Indianapolis Colts. That'd be pretty cool. Already ready to go. That's where I thought Matthew Stafford was going to be going. But he did not go there. But yeah, I'd like to see him with the Colts organization. That'd be pretty cool. I think he has some ties with somebody in that. I forgot what I heard, but I think I heard something about the coach or offensive coordinator or something. Aaron Rodgers has ties to there. So I don't know. I think that'd be a good fit. Jonathan Taylor, man, from Wisconsin, he's a good running back there.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He had a great year for the Colts.
Yes, he did.
What a great rookie year he had. Oh my!
I was really impressed. I liked him anyways. I was scared to play Wisconsin as a Ohio State Buckeye, but we usually win every time anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor is really good.
Oh,
I like him.
My gosh, I could potentially see him. He's from California, went to the university. He's a Cal Golden Bear, so 49ers maybe.
Oh yeah. You mean to kind of retire out somewhere in California?
Possibly go back home to California, and we don't. Is Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, are they done with Jimmy Garoppolo? Are they ready to move on from him?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Maybe
just staying in NFC and staying in the NFC.
Yes, he wouldn't go to. I feel like Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he would go to the Bears. They wouldn't trade him to the Bears. They wouldn't. I don't think they would do any in division trades. Although the Bears would love to have Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers wouldn't want to see him twice a year as well. So
I can't see him in a Bears uniform though. That's a little weird.
No.
That's really weird. I could see him in a 49ers uniform though.
Yes.
And a Colts would be good.
Yes.
That's the only two things I can say.
Here's a team, Las Vegas. Is John Gruden still? Does he believe in Derek Carr, or is he ready to move on from Carr?
I don't know. I like Derek Carr. That's what's so sickening to me is I liked him. He had that one good year, and that was it. I was like, man, he's going to come over the hump. I don't really know much about Derek Carr, but I like his style and I like his attitude. I like what he brings. I like his intangibles, but his stats his numbers aren't very good. No, and he doesn't get the W. So
no, he hasn't taken the
W. You got to go.
Yes, he hasn't taken the Raiders where they want to be, which is that commitment to excellence. That's their mantra. That's their motto. That's what they preach in and believe in. But they haven't really been. Yes, but they haven't done a lot of that lately.
No, they have not.
But to bring Aaron to Las Vegas,
that'd be sick. Kind of like a bad boy look.
Yes,
that'd be cool with the Raiders. You know, you always think of Raiders as like the bad boys type of the NFL. I love that stadium, by the way. Have you seen it? That all black.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man, that's sweet. I love that. I want to go there so bad.
That's
two places I want to go to is the Dallas Cowboys because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I want to go to the new Cowboy Stadium and I want to go to the Raiders Stadium. That's it, and I'll be good.
and Lambeau.
Yeah, right. Lambeau.
Well, you can get in your car and drive to Lambeau.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours north.
Yeah.
From where I'm at.
When we're done, why don't you just jump in the car and go and drive to Lambeau?
Yeah, just walk up to it and say, hey. It's
Yeah.
cold out here though. It's only like 15 degrees or whatever, 20 degrees. It's been cold. We've gotten some snow. We still got about 6 inches or so snow on the ground here. So.
Okay, well, good luck with that. It's nice here in Arizona.
I'm sure it is.
I think it's in the 60s today.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, my sinuses don't like it. Don't like cold weather. But let's go into the Phillip Rivers thing because we talk a lot. I like this. We could fill up some time. So Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer or no Hall of Famer?
Yes, absolutely.
Why? Can you give me a reason why? Okay.
I'll give you multiple reasons why.
Okay, good.
His body of work. No, he didn't win a championship, but neither did Dan Marino. There's a lot of quarterbacks and football players that are in the Hall of Fame that's never won a championship. The prerequisite for getting in the Hall of Fame should not be that you've won a championship. It should be your body of work over your entire career. And Phillip Rivers has done it. He's with the San Diego Chargers. He went to LA for the Los Angeles Chargers. He took that team to heights that they haven't been to, that they weren't in a long time. Then he went this year in Indianapolis, had a great year, took them to the playoffs. And it's just, he's been consistent over his entire career, Adam. And how can you not say he's not a Hall of Famer with his numbers and what he's done on and off the field? He is the very embodiment of somebody that should be in Canton, Ohio. That's Phillip Rivers. Absolutely, he's a Hall of Famer.
I agree with you. And what I also think that I don't want to pinpoint on different people, but Stephen A. Smith, I got very, very mad at him, by the way, because he said he does not. Phillip Rivers, he blatantly said Phillip Rivers does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, which is a bold-faced lie. I don't know what's wrong with you, Stephen A. Smith. Do you not know the stats? He is fifth all time, right behind Brett Favre of passing yards, and he's fifth all time in passing touchdowns. All time. If you look at the quarterback class that he came out of, I know we discussed this before, the 2004, I believe you said, 2004 class, he has better stats than Ben. He has better stats than Eli Manning. Not to mention that nobody was discussing this about Eli Manning crying like a little girl in the NFL draft, not wanting to go to San Diego. So Phillip Rivers is the one that got kind of screwed over. Phillip Rivers, he doesn't care. He has a good attitude. He don't care. He'll take anything. So they gave him San Diego, and Eli Manning got lucky to go to New York Giants. If not for Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers has 1 or 2 Super Bowls. And then there's not even a discussion.
Yes.
So that's
just looking at his numbers, Adam, his last 15 years, he's never missed a game. From his third year in San Diego until last year, never missed a game. All 16 games played.
Like 240, 244. It's 252 if you count the playoffs, too. He hasn't missed a playoff game either.
So regular season, he's played 240 out of 244 games. Come on.
Right.
At the quarterback position, how many quarterbacks can ever say they've done that over a 15-year period?
Brett Favre, that's it, I believe. Because Brett Favre holds the record. He's the only one. It's Brett Favre and then Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
And then the stats, he's right behind Brett Favre on the stats. Brett Favre is an automatic first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
He's already in the Hall of Fame. And then you got to give Phillip Rivers a first. I'd give him a first ballot Hall of Fame vote.
Absolutely.
Automatic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're doing live counting here on the broadcast. 3. His last 8 years, he had well over 4,000 yards passing every year for his last 8 years in the NFL. Come on, man.
I know.
If that's not Hall of Fame material, what is? There's no question.
Right.
There's no question he's going to Canton.
His stats are better than anybody's quarterback class. So we talked about that with the Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning, and then they're saying Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Fame. To me, I mean, not at least a first ballot, but the only reason why Eli Manning is who he is because of Peyton.
Because he's a
little brother of Peyton.
And he's won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and it wasn't even did anything. I don't think his stats don't show anything. He had a good team, good defense. I don't even think Eli Manning's stats is even compared to Phillip Rivers. Doesn't even compare.
I'm gonna pull up his stats. Eli, 63,000. Let's see. Phillip had over almost 64,000 yards passing. Eli's got 57,000. His record is 117 and 117. 500 record.
Eli?
Eli.
Yeah. He's not any good. I never liked him. I never did like him. I always thought he was overrated, especially watching him twice a year in NFC East because I'm an NFC East guy. So
Adam,
the Giants were
117 and 117. Straight Switzerland. Just neutral. 500.
I know.
Oh my gosh, man.
Straight Switzerland. I don't understand, man. I don't like Eli Manning at all.
If it wasn't for those 2 Super Bowls, I still don't think he's Hall of Fame material, Eli.
No, he's not.
Clearly not first ballot Hall of Fame. No,
they had the only reason why they're in there is because the defense. That was back when Michael Strahan was with that team.
Yes,
they had a beast defense back in the day, and that's when they won the Super Bowl. But if not for that defense, they wouldn't. Eli Manning definitely wouldn't get you there. He had a couple clutch plays, and that's about it. That's all he gives you. That's it. He's not a consistent. He wasn't a consistent quarterback every single year like Phillip Rivers was. Not even close.
Now,
maybe Manning had 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
Now Ben is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes,
I like Big Ben.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
but Eli doesn't do anything for me.
No, I don't like him.
No, Phillip, absolutely. Yes.
A little note there when so a little inside information. I know that we talked about this Miami Redhawks and all that stuff. He's from Findlay, Ohio, and all that. But my first job was at ESPN affiliate as a producer there in Oxford. So, or at Hamilton, but we did Oxford, Miami Redhawk basketball, and that was when Wally Zerbiak was there.
Oh,
yeah, Wally World. I did some games there too, so it was pretty cool.
He had some good years with the Timberwolves. Wally had a couple good years.
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, wasn't no superstar or nothing, but he was a contributor to the team.
He was a solid contributor, but yeah. No, Karl Anthony Towns, he is not. He was not.
No, Kentucky.
When you're talking about Timberwolves, yes. Mm-hmm. Wildcat, yes. In Minnesota, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Luka Doncic or someone? Or
Luka's in Dallas.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota. We're talking about Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
Yeah, Minnesota. Okay. Yeah, I know. Cat. He's come down with COVID. He's had some personal issues. Obviously, his mom passed away. He's had a lot of issues Carl's been dealing with. So I feel for that young man, but still one of the best young talents in the league.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been
much.
I know. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about him yet. Well, he's been hurt. He's been sick with the COVID thing, and I know he lost a lot of. He lost more than one. I think he lost a few
family members. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that post that he put on there, and he said, "Don't worry about his." I think it was his nephew, his niece and nephew. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'm not going to go in the grave," or something. He said. So that was pretty strong words.
Yeah.
For his nephew, niece and nephew. But yeah, I feel for him.
Yeah.
It hit him probably the most out of the NBA players, that's for sure.
Yes. What a year, huh?
Yeah. It's been bad. I just hope it gets better this year. That's all I gotta say.
I hope so. But you know what will make the year better? What's gonna happen in a week in Tampa?
Super Bowl.
Yes.
I know. I don't even know. I don't even like any. I'm so mad about the teams, but because I was way off. I was off in the divisional round. I was off in the conference championships, and now I'm sure no matter who I pick in the Super Bowl is going to be wrong.
I know.
I've been wrong this whole entire NFL playoff season.
Like you, I picked Buffalo and Green Bay in the Super Bowl, and now look, it's the complete opposite. It's Kansas City and Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, but it should be a great one though. Tom, the GOAT against the baby GOAT. That should be a fun game, and it's their 5th time playing each other.
Yeah, it's the first time for the two teams that they've ever been in the Super Bowl though. Kansas City and Tampa Bay playing each other
against each other. Yes,
in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yes.
I know Tom already holds a lot of records. I believe the one that I talked about was it going to be his 7th championship if he wins this one. So he's already has 6, which is already a record. So he's going to break his own record for that.
And if he wins, he'll have more championships than the Steelers and the Patriots.
Yeah. Did you see the meme of him his first year in the NFC and he still has he's tied Aaron Rodgers and someone else with the all-time championships or something in NFC.
Yeah, it was something. It was something having to deal with the Cowboys too. Like his first year in the NFC, and he's made it, and he's won the NFC championship.
Yeah, he has more championships than the Cowboys do. The whole team.
That's great.
It's sad. I'm a Cowboys guy, but I can't say anything.
I know. So talking Cowboys, what do you think about Dak? What's his future? Is he coming back with you guys, or
I want to sign him? I mean,
is Jerry gonna sign him?
If it shows anything that we need him badly after what happened this season, I would have thought Andy Dalton, a veteran quarterback, would have done something and better than in the NFC least division. I thought for sure we were going to win and we were going to be in the playoffs, squeak in there, but I didn't think we were going to do anything. We'd be playing Tampa Bay in the wild card anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered because Washington had to play them and we would have had to play them, which I don't think we would have won that game anyway. So,
but Adam,
on paper though, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, and then we lost some of our offensive linemen, but you still have Zach Martin. We lost Smith. We had a good center, but we lost everybody. Didn't have anybody. We had Zach Martin, I think, come back in the middle of the season when our season looked like it was already over with.
And then you lost him too.
Goes down. And then
your defense was horrible.
But the thing was, I'll tell you this: they got rid of that defensive coordinator, brought somebody else.
Oh
yeah. But I forget who they brought in. Someone I like.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn. I like him. I think he was a New Orleans. Wasn't he a New Orleans Saints back in the day or something?
He was the Falcons head coach, of course. But
that's right.
He was the Seahawks D coordinator when they had the Legion of Boom.
Yeah, and that's right, because he was the one that got an investigation with the. That was New Orleans that had that investigation with the pay to hit players or something like that. The what was that called? That was New Orleans, wasn't it, or was that Seattle?
Bountygate.
That was New Orleans, right?
Yeah, that was Greg Williams.
Okay.
Bountygate. Mm-hmm.
I like Dan Quinn. I hope that's definitely an upgrade from what we had. But I'm surprised Kellen Moore didn't leave. I would have took that job. I think that someone offered him a head coaching position. Kellen Moore. No, it was the Philadelphia Eagles was talking to him for a coaching position, and he said no. He stayed there in Dallas, so that's cool. I'm kind of liking that because I like Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. He needs to get kind of more conservative a little bit sometimes in his play calls because he kind of goes crazy with it. And this was a year that Zeke Elliott, feed the beast. This was the year Ohio State Buckeye. This is the year that he could have showed up and showed off his big money that he had. But I think he got his money. He doesn't care. Ever since he's got that contract, he hasn't done anything. Because he led the league in NFL rushing leader 2 years in a row. Gets the contract, not even a top 5.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
you also mentioned they had so much instability at the offensive line standpoint, and your quarterback situation is so fluid. Then you're bringing in Ben DiNucci at some point on a Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how bad it got. And
that was great.
I agree with a lot of the people, a lot of the broadcasters that I've heard. They said maybe the pressure was too much for Zeke, not having Dak there, so everything is on Zeke's shoulders, and you clearly saw that because Zeke fumbled a lot.
Right, as you saw,
especially with that Cardinals game, that Monday night game. He looked awful in that game.
Awesome.
So maybe the pressure of being the number one target for the Cowboys offensively got to Zeke, and he couldn't handle it.
I think if you remembered in the offseason before that year started last year, he was in Cabo, and all that didn't come to the training camp till later.
Yep.
Kind of was almost like a holdout type thing. It was weird, whole weird situation. And then comes with a tattoo and all this stuff. So you're saying, okay, we're hyped, we're ready to go. Just like all the, Stephen A. Smith is right about that, where he talks about the Dallas Cowboy fans. All of us are like, some good thing happens. We're all Super Bowl bound. We are kind of like that. Oh, we're going to Super Bowl now.
Of course.
I just don't like the whole entire the whole entire thing with the Dallas Cowboys. I like Jerry Jones. I do like him. I do like the Mike McCarthy as the coach. That's kind of difficult for me. I almost like Jarrett better than what we have now. So, but Jarrett went to what, Giants? He's at the Giants. I think he's an offensive coordinator or something like that. Jason Garrett, yeah. So, but yeah, I think we need a new coach, and I just think it's kind of like almost like a redo. I've been asked that before. I would almost just go ahead and let's redo, refresh. I know that last year there was a lot. You can't really pinpoint everything on just injuries and all that stuff because we had COVID. Everybody had injuries. Everybody had, at one point, Philadelphia Eagles had the most injuries in NFL. So, and most players gone. So you can't say anything about that. And I just think we need to chalk it up as a bad year and then see what happens this year. Is basically how I look at it.
Now, I don't know I think Jerry Jones is too prideful to say, okay, let's blow this thing up and start over again.
Right. I wouldn't want to do that anyways. I think we'll give McCarthy one more year and see what he can do with a full staff. Get that defense better.
Especially in a division that's winnable.
Yeah.
Because even as bad as the Giants started off, they were 1-7 and they still had a chance to win the division in the final week of the season. If it weren't for the Eagles laying down against Washington, they probably could have won the division.
They could have. Yeah.
That just shows how bad that division was this year.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. It used to be the best division of football. Now it's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can chalk it off to an anomaly. Let's just say, okay, it was a COVID year. It was just one of those years. Maybe the NFC East will bounce back next year and things will be a lot better.
I hope so. Man, I hope so. I just want to see Dallas do something for once. I don't think it took them a long time to actually win a playoff game, and I think that was in Tony Romo era when they finally won a playoff game from like 1996 because they had a stat up there with the Bengals because the Bengals haven't won a playoff game in a while, but they did win.
Well, they never won one under Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, they haven't won one. They've been there. They've been to playoffs a lot, like 10 times or something like that, but they never won. Like they're like 0-10. That's why they got rid of Marvin Lewis. But Marvin Lewis was a good coach. I like Marvin. I would have kept him there, especially with Joe Burrow now. Jeez.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of anxious to see how the Bengals play the next couple of years with Burrow.
I know. And he looked really good this year. I love the way that Burrow was playing before he got injured against Washington and that ended the season. But he's a good player. He was good at LSU, and I knew he was going to be good in the league, but I was like, oh my gosh, just like Justin Herbert. He was good. He was really good at Oregon, but then he came on after he got unceremoniously kind of thrown into the fire when Tyrod Taylor got hurt. But Justin Herbert's good too.
Well, fun fact, Joe Burrow, third string quarterback for Ohio State back in the day. Did you know that?
Was he? No.
Yeah, he was a third stringer behind he was behind, it wasn't Braxton Miller. It might have been Braxton Miller or something like that. He was behind one of those guys. No, not that late. It was probably not Cardell Jones. It was
wow.
But yeah, he was a third stringer and he left. Yeah, that's a fact.
Over Ohio State. Okay, let me look that up here.
Yeah, he's a third stringer. I just can't remember what.
Let's see. He redshirted his first year in 2015. He was a backup to JT Barrett. He was JT's backup.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so he knew that Dwayne Haskins was going to be the starter, so that's why he transferred to LSU.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it was JT Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, and then him. And then Barrett graduated, Haskins came in, and then he was already gone at that point.
So Burrow's like, I'm going to LSU. Okay. Wow. How about that, huh?
Yeah, crazy.
Fun fact.
Yeah, a little fun fact.
Oh man, dude, we've been talking for an hour and a half.
I know. I love it. It's great. I like having you on because we can talk about, go back and forth about this whole entire. We only had basically two major topics, and we've been talking about it the whole entire time. Just NBA and NFL. That's what we've been talking about. I didn't even really have to have kind of a program. I wrote some stuff down, but I feel like we did a pretty good job doing that.
Oh yeah.
And then I can have me on your show too as well. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Your Insight Sports Talk.
Oh, cool, absolutely. Oh gosh, yes.
So, Is there anything else you like to talk about, or you want to be done here?
I think we're good. We could probably, if we want to do it, do a couple shows next week. We can talk about whatever goes on news wise. Next week, there'll be some Super Bowl news, of course, and some other stuff will come up.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we were going to talk about Stafford and Goff. What do we think about that?
From Detroit to LA.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen often. Detroit to LA. Okay. Hopefully, that's some stuff. Yeah, I was kind of surprised with Matthew Stafford. Earlier in the show, we talked about I thought he was going to go to Indy because I know a bunch of people were saying that he might be going to Indy, but I actually kind of like. Man, I don't know. I think I like him in San Diego.
You going to work?
Or LA Chargers.
Me too.
And didn't they just get a Colts guy or something to LA or something like that? I believe the coach or something. Wasn't that like the Colts offensive coordinator or something like that went to? No. That was the Rams. I'm thinking about the Rams. Or the Chargers or something. Who was that left?
The Rams defensive coordinator went to the Chargers. He's Brandon Staley. He's their new head coach.
That's it. That's how I was.
Yes. Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of like Matthew Stafford, and
I like that move to the Rams. Mm-hmm. And I like the move for the Lions too because they get draft picks and they need draft capital because they need as much help as they can. They need as much young talent as they can, and they save some money by this deal. And the Rams save a boatload of money by unloading Jared Goff's contract. So that works out good for both of them. And the reason why this happened is primarily because the new general manager for the Lions was, I believe, the Rams director of player personnel or director of college scouting. So he just got the job as the GM for the Lions, and then this trade comes. So that's kind of why that's kind of how this whole thing tied in between these two teams because the LA to Detroit connection. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is very crazy. I didn't see that one coming.
He's probably less than a week on the job, and he makes this big trade. He gets rid of Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff comes to Detroit. But who do you think's going to have? Who do you think will have a better year or career, at least for the next couple of years? Stafford in LA or Jared Goff in Detroit?
Oh. Yeah,
I think Stafford will.
I think Stafford. I don't think. I think Jared Goff needs a lot of help around him to become successful. Obviously, we saw that already, and I think the Rams are already good. I like McVay as a coach. I like the line. I like everything that they have to offer. They're good, and their defense.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, best in NFL, probably ever, the best lineman of all time.
Yeah, they got a great defense. Jalen Ramsey back there in the secondary.
Yeah, they got a good corner. They got
a good year. Cam Akers.
Oh yeah, I like.
Yeah, the Seminole. Yeah, he had a great year. That's another good rookie. Like you talked about Jonathan Taylor. Cam Akers had a great rookie year this year. He played really well. I like the way that kid played.
Oh yeah. Who's the wide receivers on that team? I'm trying to think. I can't think of any. Rams.
Cooper Kupp is one of them.
Okay, yeah. Is he a tight end?
No, he's a wide receiver. He's good when he's not banged up.
Okay.
Tyler Higbee is one of their tight ends. Robert Woods is one of their wide receivers. They've got good wide receivers there.
Okay, cool.
And their offensive line is good.
Yeah, I think Matthew Stafford's going to do really well there. I'm kind of happy for him. Kind of getting out of Detroit.
And the good thing is it's a fresh start for both of those guys. You know, Jared Goff gets a reset in Detroit. And we'll see what kind of weapons they can surround him with. As you mentioned, he's got to have weapons. Otherwise, he's going to be in Detroit like, oh, my gosh, I have nothing here.
Yeah, he's definitely not. He's definitely not a Deshaun Watson, that's for sure. No. So he has to have talent all around him.
Those guys have been in LA and Detroit. It's just like after a while, it's just it's time to move on. It's time to turn the page on your career, start another chapter in your career, and that's what these guys are going to do. I like it. I think it's going to be good for both of these guys.
I think Stafford's pretty much like, hey, good luck, Goff. You see how Detroit treats you this while you're there. If you get anybody good superstar athletes around you and supporting cast, because Matthew Stafford protected. Not that much, at least. He had Calvin Johnson for a little bit.
He did.
But yeah.
And another fun fact, I looked at one of the years, one of the Lions years, that the year that Calvin Johnson had almost 2,000 yards receiving, he only had 5 touchdowns that year. He had 1,934, 1,934 yards. I'm like, how can you have that many yards and only 5 touchdowns?
That's crazy. That is crazy stat right there. Yeah, I know. I loved him. Loved Megatron. Oh, another Detroit. That's like the boneyard of retiring early.
Yeah,
Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Barry Sanders, Megatron. Oh yeah.
And then if it went for Matthew Stafford getting traded, Matthew Stafford probably be retiring here soon in his next contract year. So I think
probably
he's like 30 some. He's like 30 some now, isn't he? Like 32
like 30, 33, 34, I believe. 34, I believe.
Yeah, so he's getting up there as well. Once you start getting your mid-30s, you're looking to retire. Unless you feel like you have a good team.
Mm-hmm. But he's another guy. He's another guy that's been healthy. I know 2019 he injured his back, so he only played half of the season. He injured his back. Otherwise, every other year he played all 16 games. So Matthew Stafford was durable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was only hurt like that 1 year or a couple years or something when he got hurt.
That 2019 season,
injury prone. Yeah, he said he's going to be. They say he was going to be injury prone and all that, but he's been all right.
Yes,
for Detroit. Mm-hmm. And then they never had. I couldn't tell you a better quarterback that they had in Detroit in a while. I couldn't even name anyone. I couldn't name anyone. Like even back in the day, they didn't have a good quarterback. So, yeah, Matthew Stafford's probably their best quarterback of all time in franchise history.
The only guy I can think of was probably Gary Danielson, but outside of him, I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't even name that guy. Orlovsky, Dan
Orlovsky was okay.
He was okay, yeah.
But he wasn't Stafford, like, no.
No.
But it's a good fresh start for both of those guys. I wish them well, and at least here in Arizona, we get to see Matthew Stafford twice a year now with the Rams.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And you'll see Jared Goff twice a year.
Yeah, we'll see Jared Goff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I've never seen him play except the playoffs. So we don't see him play in the regular season.
He's a good young talent. I think he just lost his confidence, especially this season. And you could tell by he had so much up. His play was so up and down. But a different start in Detroit, new leadership, new ownership. He'll get with some new players and a new attitude, new culture. Maybe they'll do a jump start to his career.
I think it'd be good for both of them because Matthew Stafford obviously has been pretty good, and he now going to a new place and with a better line, better coaching.
Yes.
Yeah. So he should definitely if he better have a really good year, I would think, because not even he's still putting up decent numbers at Detroit, and then you're obviously going to a better team with better talent. You should do better. So
you should, in theory.
This next year.
We'll see.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to see what Dallas does. At least you guys got Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You guys went to the playoffs. You guys go to the playoffs?
No.
Oh, you missed it.
No. Okay. Yeah, they missed it. They had a chance to make it. They played the 49ers and the Rams down the stretch in the last 2 games, and they lost both of the games. So they had their own destiny, but the Cardinals couldn't pull it out. It's just disappointing. Just a sad way to end the season.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like how Dallas did, because we had a chance to make it too.
Yes.
But we lost. So I was kind of upset. If we would have won, but it wouldn't matter because the Eagles lost. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And people are like, well, Doug Peterson, did you lay down in that game against Washington? Why would you pull out Jalen Hurts and put in Nate Sudfeld? And they're just like, well, did the Eagles really just give up on this game? Did they really just like choke on this game? And that's why Giants fans are so upset at Doug Peterson and the Eagles, because they're like, okay, why didn't you guys play to beat Washington? If you would have beat Washington, we would have made the playoffs, not the football team.
Right. I don't know either. You could go either both ways, but I'm not. they obviously got rid of Peterson. He's gone.
Yes.
But I don't know. And they say if you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers in that game, he wasn't doing really well anyway.
No. I mean,
So,
he ran for 2 touchdowns. I believe he threw for like 72 yards at that same point. But I mean, you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. Do you really believe you can win with Nate Sudfeld over Jalen Hurts? And
right.
Carson Wentz was inactive, so he couldn't have played at all anyway.
Yeah, I would have stayed with Jalen Hurts myself.
Me too. I mean, what's the worst that could have happened? You just lose. You lose worse than the loss you already suffered.
Right.
I would have stuck with Jalen Hurts. That would have been a good learning lesson for him, a good learning piece for him to go into the offseason. Okay, we're not playing that well. I'm not playing that well, but you still believe in me that you want to still have me out here in a very important game.
Right. I think they made a good move on the Philadelphia organization. Made a good move getting Peterson out of there anyway. So I don't know if they're going to like try to $100 million man another one in Philly, seeing how Carson Wentz will do again next year. Or are you just going to start Jalen Hurts? I mean, I don't. Be a nice little QB battle again.
We'll see. That's a good challenge for the new head coach to see. Okay, he'll probably have a nice competition there between Wentz and Jalen Hurts to see who's going to be number one.
Right.
But if Carson's making that kind of money, you would think he's going to make an effort to be number one. They're paying you that kind of money. Okay, well, in the competition, you better beat out Jalen Hurts, or these Philly fans are going to say, the Philly fans are like, okay, we're essentially paying you, and you can't even be the number one quarterback. We're paying your salary, but you can't beat out Jalen Hurts for the number one spot.
That's sad. Very sad.
Yeah, I mean, Philly fans don't play that. You know that, being a Cowboy fan.
Oh yeah. No. When I've been to the Link there, Lincoln Financial, and I was there a long time ago. It was like 2007, but I didn't wear my Cowboy stuff at all. I wore just regular clothes.
You were smart to do that because they were. Yeah, you might have ended up in the hospital after that game.
Fun little fact on that one too. That was the game that Jason Witten ran with his helmet off into the end zone. Remember that game?
Oh, that was the game you went to?
That was the game I was at. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm sitting there cheering. I'm like, yeah. I had like jeans and a T-shirt on, and they're all looking at me like, "What the heck's he screaming on?" I was like, "Oh yeah." So
yeah. I'm like, did you not forget what stadium you're in and who you're around?
That was cool though. I had a picture of the that Philadelphia Eagles mascot, the bird guy, and then I had some pictures with the cheerleaders. That was a good time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was way pre-COVID days. Mm.
Oh yeah, I missed those days.
Yeah, I know.
But hey, thanks for having coming on my show and all that stuff. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Ed Cole, Insight Sports Talk, man.
And I will talk to my guys and see if we can schedule to get you on Insight Sports Talk so we can get some Wisconsin, some talk from Wisconsin, all the way from Cheesehead Nation.
I don't know much about Wisconsin sports, though. I mean, I'm living here, but I don't know much about it. Just Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers and stuff. But Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, and Middleton, like we discussed earlier. That's all I know out here.
But you'll get along really good with Joanna. She's our lead host. She's a Packers fan too. So you guys will probably talk Packers, and I'll just be like this.
Well, no, I'm a Dallas Cowboy guy.
Turn yet? Oh, no, okay. Is it my turn yet? No, okay. I'm like, okay.
Right. All right, man. You have a good night. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. You there?
Oh, did I lose my audio?
There. You there?
Oh, hold on. I think I lost audio.
Oh, I hear you though. No, I can hear you. But...
Oh,
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think my AirPods died.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, my phone's about ready to die myself.
It's cool. So it didn't. The video didn't cut off.
Oh no, I haven't ended yet. Let me end it.
Remember how you said